Hi friends, Mrs. Bowers here. Did you know that there's so many kinds of texts? When we read, we might be reading for a different reason, and sometimes we even read in different ways. Sometimes we read information books and we're looking to learn something. Or we might read a fiction story looking to be entertained. So this week we're going to learn about different types or kinds of texts. We're going to learn how to understand what type of book or text you're reading, and that helps you know why you are reading it. So let me share my screen. Okay, friends, I have three types of text here. I have some stories, some poems, and some recipes. So this pile has stories. Friends, I don't have enough books at my house to actually have stories, but I have pictures of the front covers of the stories. So each of these stories or text has characters and a setting, and they have events. They have pictures that someone illustrated or drew. So these are some books that you'll recognize and some stories that you might recognize. In this pile, I have some poems in it. Poems are shorter than stories. They're written in short lines. Some have words that rhyme. It is not a book, and it doesn't have to have a cover, but they can be, a collection of poems can be found in a book. Poems can have pictures, and sometimes they don't have pictures. Poems don't always have to make sense, and they can be funny. Nursery rhymes are poems, and poems can be long or short, and they can be fiction or nonfiction. Okay, and this is the last pile. I have a pile with recipes in it. In this pile, recipes, there's lots of pictures of recipes, and recipes teach us how to cook something. They have grocery lists and directions written in steps. Sometimes they show a picture of what's being made. Okay. So we are going to go over some clues that will help us identify the type of text we're going to be reading. So first, let's talk about stories. Stories have characters, which are people or animals in the story. Stories have a setting, which is where and when the story takes place. They have a problem. What goes wrong in this story? And they have a solution. How do the characters fix the problem? Poetry will tell us a story, and it appeals to feelings or senses, feelings like happy, sad, mad, or scared, and senses like taste, touch, hearing, smelling, and seeing. They describe, they describe something. They have a rhyme where, or a lot of them have rhymes, where you'll hear how, owl, and how, book, cook. They have rhyming words. They do have a rhythm. When you read poetry, you'll hear a cadence, which is a rhythm, a beat. And oftentimes poems are repetitive. That means they repeat. Terrific, terrific, terrific. We love this word. Sometimes poems have onomatopoeias, like sound words like splash, or bang, whiz. And even sometimes they even have alliteration, which is when you'll see lots of the same letter. So silly Sally smells soup. Sally sells seashells at the seashore. That is a type of poem. Okay, and recipes. For recipes, we will see directions written out in steps. So this is a cupcake recipe. And see, there's a heading telling us what we're gonna cook. There's directions telling us what to do in the order. There might even be a sidebar as just a little bit of information. There could be a photo of what we're gonna make. And there could be charts of our ingredients or a list of groceries that we're gonna need. Okay, so I have a little game. I want to sort out some of these texts. I have S for stories, P for poems, and R for recipes. Can you see that? R. Sure. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hold up a text under the doc cam, and I'm going to wait a few seconds before I place it in the correct column. I am challenging you to say what it is by looking at it. So, oh, I can see a picture, I can see ingredients and steps on how to make something. Is this a story, a poem, or a recipe? If you said a recipe, ding, 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 you're right. Okay, here is it's a short written words. It's the written in lines. Flying a kite, flying in kites. It's about flying kites. It has a picture, but it's not a whole story. Did you say a poem? Good job. Oh, here's a common one that we see a lot. It's Pinkalicious. It's about a girl who eats pink cupcakes and turns pink. Did you say a story? Okay, let's go a little bit faster. Oh, here is a text, and it has some words that rhyme, and it has a picture and is a little bit funny. It's a poem. Here's another one. Oh, I can tell we're going to be making food because I can see the steps. There's a chart with ingredients. There's a heading. Recipe is right. And here's a front cover of the Gruffalo. It's written and illustrated, and it has a whole, it has a plot and a problem and a solution, and it has characters, the mouse and the Gruffalo. Okay, you're right, story. Okay, friends, good job sorting out some types of text. I'm gonna stop sharing. Okay, readers. Today, when you're reading independently or with a grown-up, I want you to try to see if you can use some of the clues that we talked about and figure out what type of text you're reading. Are you reading a story? Are you reading a poem? Are you reading a recipe? Okay, off you go, readers.